I was always told that it's better to use someone else's money, in the event that, anything goes wrong. But of course, we're not banking on things going wrong. We're always banking on it going right.
You're listening to The Traditional Millennial with Brittany Dotson, where conventional meets contemporary and faith fills the gaps. Welcome back to The Traditional Millennial. I am your host, Brittany Dotson, and I am super, super excited about today's episode because I get to sit down and talk to my friend, my sister, my just link is what we call each other, my link, my sorority sister. She is a dear friend. She is a beautiful person inside and out, and I love her to death. And I get to sit down and talk to her today. And she is actually the first person that I am getting to interview as a part of a mini entrepreneur series that I wanted to highlight for those people out there who are thinking and considering entrepreneurship and who are just maybe on the fence about it and struggling a little bit about what to do, how to do it, if they should do it. And so today I get to sit down with this beautiful person and talk about these things. And so I'm super excited about that. It's always awesome to see people, especially millennials, who know what they know what they want to do. They're going after it. They're trusting God to guide them through the process, and they are living peacefully with the decisions that they make. And so I'm always inspired by you. I will say that I'm always inspired by you because you're such a positive person, such an optimistic person, and you're so sweet. And I'm super excited about what God is doing in your life. So I'm glad to have you here today. And I could talk all day and I can say just more and more and more, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stop and I'm going to let you talk. So how about you tell us who you are, introduce yourself so we can know a little bit more about you.
Well, hello, Brittany. Thank you so much for having me on. My name is LaQuanza Reeder. I am now retired as of May, registered nurse. I currently reside in California. I'm on the road to entrepreneurship. I haven't fully launched my process yet, but I am there. Loving the process so far. It's very daunting at times. However, trusting in God, I'm able to push through. Yes. So it's a very exciting process.
Yes. Awesome. So we're going to just go ahead and get right into it. So why don't you kind of tell us about your business, how it started, what prompted you to become a retired registered nurse, and like what that looked like for you and how the nursing field, just how it was whenever you started, how it began to be, how it was whenever you decided to get into, your own business and launching your own business. Kind of walk us through that.
The name of my business is Skin RN, spelled SKYNRN. It's a scrub line, and also I'll be selling accessories. So I got into my entrepreneurship journey. Actually, it's so weird due to just kind of like following different influencers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So many different people that I've seen like me, Black women that I've seen like me, were just really going after it and building these empires. So I was thinking to myself, I already knew that I always wanted to be my own boss, but I never narrowed it down to what exactly I wanted to do. So during the process of the pandemic, all non-essential businesses were forced to close. So the idea of online sales came to mind. I mean, like what better?
Yes.
That's pretty much almost kind of like, recession proof or, safety proof.
Right.
Selling online.
Exactly.
So I was working as a nurse in a hospital. So the best thing I thought of scrubs. I know scrubs. I've worn several different different colors, been to several different hospitals. So it's kind of my forte. I, researched how to get my LLC. I researched how to start the online process. But at first, I honestly was just kind of winging it. I found a couple of vendors. I, went on Fiverr, got a couple of people to do my logo, my website, things like that. Until actually I saw one of our past college mates, Uche. He started a business coaching business. So I reached out to him because I knew I wasn't exactly on the right line, going in the right direction, but I knew
Mm-hmm.
I needed guidance. So I reached out to him, and he completely restructured my entire process, which
Wow.
was absolutely great. He, the logo, got me a new logo, told me to get me a new website, completely a new vendor. Everything changed around, and then I became so much more confident in myself because
Awesome.
I saw that the way that I was going, it would have worked, but it wasn't going to be this big empire that I'm planning for it
Yeah.
to actually be until
You
he
had to build an
became,
empire.
in the mix. Yes, I'm building an empire. So it's really exciting. And then, of course, during the pandemic, I had worked so tirelessly every day, never
Mm-hmm.
called in, never took a day off. And it
Hmm.
kind of when it really weighed on my mental, to actually see what was going on in the hospitals,
Mm-hmm.
all the heartache and pain, the death. Family weren't able to see their family members. And it,
Yes.
it became, a little bit too hard for me to just kind of sit
Compassion
there and
fatigue.
process that. Yes, I was burnt
Mm-hmm.
out. But during that, I was able to, because, everything was closed down. I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't spending too much money. So I was able to just kind of focus and sit and save the money to kind of like
Mm-hmm.
fund my own business. So it was good. I no longer, there was absolutely no reason for me to work anymore. I saved up enough money to start this business. I was initially afraid to start it, but, I had no reason to keep working. So I just came out
Yeah.
of the field, and I'm putting everything that I have towards starting this business. So it's an exciting process.
Wow. That's
I'm
awesome.
excited about it. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
awesome. So you mentioned, your job being able to save and then basically using that to fund what you really want to do. How important would you say that it is to do that before launching a business? Do you think everyone should have that type of plan if they're working in corporate America or if they're, working for someone else? Do you think everyone should utilize that resource that they currently have to launch their business? Or do you think people can just say, hey, I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to quit my job. I don't care if I have money or not. It'll work out. Like, how important do you think that is to do
So the way I went was actually by happenstance. I
it?
don't recommend actually I don't recommend that way. I actually went to go and I applied for a business loan, and I was actually
Okay.
denied. And I thought,
Mhm.
I have good credit, I have enough money in the bank. Why would I get denied for a business loan? And
Mhm.
actually, I applied for a personal loan for my business, but they told me that I didn't need it, that I had enough money in the bank, that
Mhm.
I can fund my own business because it was a low overhead startup cost. But
Okay.
I recommend for anyone who wants to start, it also depends on your financial situation. Now, if you are in the financial situation that I am in, then I say go for it. Fund your
Mhm.
own business. If you don't need it, go for it. But people who actually, are still needing to work, still needing, a business loan or a personal loan or anything like that, to go for that route, because I was always told that it's better to use someone else's money,
Okay.
in the event that, anything goes wrong. But of course, we're not banking on things going wrong. We're always banking on
Right.
it going right. But still in the process to use someone else's money, because it's like you're using someone else's money, making money off of their money, and then
Mhm.
recapitalizing off of that again. So you never have to touch your own funds. I unfortunately couldn't go that direction, but this is what works for me. It's working for me, so I
Yeah.
have no qualms about it. So it's awesome. But I do say that if you are in my position, if you do get rejected for a business loan or a personal loan or anything like that, and if you have the funds, don't fret. Just go for it. Trust in yourself, and that's what I'm doing. I'm literally trusting and
Mhm.
having faith that this will work out. So I'm okay with putting my money on the line.
That's awesome. That's awesome because it does take a lot of faith. And then, too, you have to know that God is leading you in that direction. You know how some people will kind of just they'll just branch out and do something and they haven't been led to do it. There is no type of confirmation for what they're doing. But when you get confirmation and that this is what you're supposed to do, then everything will, even when you hit like these kind of bumps in the road, and you kind of have these, not more so hard stops, but you have these things that will come to even test your faith, test your patience, and everything. You, with, if you know that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and that's what God is leading you to do, then those things are just like, hey, you know what, this is just a little test for me. It's just a minor bruise. We're gonna patch it up and we're gonna keep it moving, not even worried about it. And so
Definitely.
that's awesome. That's awesome, because even in you being rejected for that business, I mean, that worked for you. That was how that was supposed to be for you, and now you're on the right path because you found your business coach. He got you right. You're doing things the right
Yes.
way, and so that's always awesome. All right, Kwanzaa. So you were going through everything that happened up until now. So let me ask you this: with everything that was going on during the pandemic, because a lot of people were able to start businesses and kind of get in this mindset of, let me chase after the things that I have been, passionate about doing. How did the pandemic, how did you, working as a nurse, how did you being able to launch out and start your own business, how did this strengthen or affect your relationship with the Lord? And like, how did was that during all of this time?
Oh my, I guess it was twofold that strengthened my relationship with the Lord. Not only the pandemic, but also starting on the entrepreneurship journey. I I'm not even gonna lie, I was terrified during the start of the pandemic. We were going in and out of COVID positive patient rooms.
Hmm.
I wasn't bedside, however, I was working. I was the assistant nurse manager,
Mhm.
pretty much guiding, supervising the bedside nurses. So I was going in and out of COVID patient rooms when they were busy in their other COVID positive patient rooms, swabbing patients.
Mhm.
And this is, pre-vaccine. So,
Mhm.
we had nothing but what at the beginning of the pandemic they said that we needed: face shields, our just normal PPE, N95 masks, and our gowns.
Mhm.
And so it was, people were going, if you didn't don or doff, meaning putting
Mhm.
on your PPE correctly and taking it off correctly, there was a high chance of you getting infected as well. And there were several nurses who did get infected.
Mhm.
And so it was just almost, we had the mindset of, it's not, if we'll get COVID, it's just when. And so
Mhm.
during the entire time we were during the high, and I went through several waves, I think like two waves at the beginning. And it was just like, I'm buying my time on when I'm get sick,
Mhm.
when I'm going to get sick. That's all I thought about. And so that kind of pushed me further towards, praying and asking God, please keep me safe through this. Please keep me COVID free. I've seen so much damage that it caused
Mhm.
mentally, physically, to patients and their family members. And for me to be able to continue to do my job, I wanted to continue to do my
Right.
job. And I just prayed, to God to keep me safe so that I
Mhm.
can take care of other people. And then it weighed so hard and so heavy on my mental, just every day going to work. And then on top of that, working short staffed. It's just,
Mhm.
okay, I made it up in my mind. There has to be a change. There has to be better. And so, by, looking at all of the different people launching several businesses
Mhm.
during the pandemic, it opened my eyes. It's just like, okay, there is something more. There is
Mhm.
something else that I need to be doing. And entrepreneurship is the route.
Mhm.
And so I had to literally put my 100% faith in God, my 100% faith in myself,
Mhm.
and say that I can do this. But I knew that faith without works is dead, right?
Mhm.
So I knew that I had to put in the work. Not
Right.
only do I have to pray and trust God, I had to do the work.
Yeah, that's
So I
awesome.
did my due diligence. I researched pretty much everything that I needed to do to start this business, and I went for it.
Mhm.
And I prayed to God. The power of manifestation. Oh my.
Yes.
I have seen and heard this so much.
Mhm.
It's like social media became my best friend during this process, because I felt alone. I really, really felt
Mhm.
so alone during the pandemic. I went to work. I stayed in my office. I really did not hang around anybody. I didn't
Mhm.
talk to a whole lot of people. I left home. I lived alone at the time. I,
Mm-hmm.
I, I left, went home by myself, me and
Yeah.
my dogs
Yeah.
by myself. So it became a process of me getting to know myself, getting to love myself,
Mm-hmm.
understand myself. I became so self-aware during that process,
That's
and I
awesome.
built such a good relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed, I manifested everything that I wanted. I wrote down and I prayed over that. I
Wow.
prayed over that. I asked God to give these things to me, and then I worked toward them. I
Yeah.
actually put my heart 100% work toward them. And they all of a sudden, Brittany, they started to fall into place.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, it's so surreal almost. It's like you hear these things and you
Mm-hmm.
see it happening to other people, and the fact that I felt like, oh my God, like God hears me,
Yeah.
And I never had that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always prayed and I've always, had a relationship with God, but it just became so much more strong. My
Mm-hmm.
faith became so much more during this process.
Yeah.
And when you trust and when you believe and have faith and pray, God hears you.
Yeah.
When you do the work, God hears
Yes,
you and He
ma'am.
gives you what you need.
Yes.
And so it's just my eyes have become so open to that. And it's such an amazing feeling. I
Yeah.
can't, it's so hard. It's like me talking about it. Oh God, like, oh God,
Yes.
it's such an amazing, it's such a beautiful process. Like everything that I'm working toward, I'm starting to see to come into fruition. And I know this is a little off subject,
Yeah.
but during that process as
Uh-huh.
well, one of the things that I wrote down on my list is that, God, the next relationship that I get in, I want this to be the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
the person that I am, spending the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
And a coworker, I would tell a coworker, I'm single, blah, blah, blah. That's during the time I was really getting to know Kwanzaa.
Uh-huh.
And so she signed she signed me up on this uh, dating app called Bumble. And I always thought I was such this stickler for, oh my God, dating apps are for, those desperate women. Like I want to
Yeah.
meet a man naturally. I want to meet a man, genuine out in public. And she was like, girl, first of all, it's a pandemic. You're not going anywhere
No,
to
ma'am.
meet anybody anytime soon. So she literally signed me up. Thank you. Shout out to Reka. She signed me up on Bumble. And, she started swiping for me. She started
Yeah.
swiping. She started messaging for me. And I just came out of my shell. I just like, forget it. She's right. I'm not going to meet anybody. I don't really want to meet anybody right now
Yeah.
in this process face to face. I would like to, it was a cool process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I met a guy. I mean, we chatted for a while. We started having video calls after our chats. Once I got more comfortable, we started text messaging, talking on the phone, and it just blossomed. Oh my
Wow.
God, it blossomed.
Yeah.
And my babe, Devin, we are together now, going stronger than ever. This is by far the best relationship I've ever been in life. And that was one of the things that I put on my
Hmm.
list and asked God to give me. And
And
He
he
has
did it.
the to to come out of I asked to come out of corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of corporate America, retired
Wow.
as of May. I asked, to start this business, let this business be successful. I've started this business. I'm currently in development. When I launch, I know I have trust that that
Yes.
that God is going to guide this business and it's going to be successful. My man, he is the best.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry I'm gushing, but it's just
It's okay.
everything is just coming to fruition. And
Yes.
it's it's almost so hard to believe. I
Yeah.
feel I don't know. I panic at times. Like, is this real? Is this my life? Like everything that I prayed for is coming to fruition, and I'm so excited and so happy about it, and I can't stop talking
I
about
know.
it.
And look, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to brag on Jesus, right? What the Lord is doing for you. You're
Yes,
supposed to tell people about it because people don't
definitely.
realize how how things actually do work out for them who love the Lord and
Yes.
who do things in his
Oh,
will, and they do things the right way, and they are really trying to just live a life that's pleasing to him, and then they put their faith and their trust in him and they go to work. things work out for people who go
Yes.
to work. And so, look, you brag, girl. You brag. Tell us all about it. We want to hear about it because people want to hear positive things. You hear a lot of negative things, and you hear so many things are happening in the world. So people need to hear success stories. They need to hear these things because
Definitely.
they need the encouragement. They need the inspiration. So look, I'm happy for you. You look, I'm
Why,
like
thank you.
smiling and stuff because after a while we work against ourselves in a lot of ways, and then of course it doesn't help when people work against you too. And so when things start to
Right.
turn around and things start to happen in your life that you've been praying for, that you've been believing for, girl, you better shout about that and just forget everybody else. Talk about it all
Yes,
day long if you
amen.
want to. Yes, ma'am. That's what I love it. I love to hear it. So let me ask you this, because you told us the name of your brand earlier. So what was the motivation or the inspiration behind Skin RN?
So I don't want to give away too much, but
Okay.
I will let you know. Okay, skin. Um, it's supposed to mimic, not to say mimic, SKIN, like your skin. I kind of named it SKYN.
Mm-hmm.
Skin was already taken. SKIN was already taken. So the twist of SKYN, skin RN, of course, because I'm a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then my scrubs, I wanted them to feel like your skin, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I wanted the, yes, our skin is our first line of defense,
Mm-hmm.
from bacteria, from any harmful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to protect it. We want to make sure that it's always, healthy.
Yes.
It's always moisturized. It's,
Yes.
everything that it needs. So my scrubs, I wanted them to be soft. I wanted them to be stretchable, to have so much elasticity like your skin. So
Wow.
it feels like good on your skin.
Okay.
And right now, there are, a couple of top skin, scrub lines that have a certain fabric
Mm-hmm.
that, a lot of them are using. Well, my scrub line, I'm going to have a little twist on the fabric
Ooh.
actually.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to have a little twist on it. It's going to be pretty much primarily almost 100% eco-friendly,
Wow. Okay.
all
Okay.
natural, fully sustainable. So I'm hoping that, people really see my vision, understand it, and just actually, absolutely love it,
Yes.
because I don't know. I wanted to do something. I know, of course, when there's already an idea out there, when there's already, things on the market, you don't want to necessarily just do the same thing. I want it to be set apart, actually,
Yes.
a little bit from what is already out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I researched different fabrics. I researched different designs, things like that, just trying to bring something new, something fresh. And it was literally inspired, actually, by COVID.
Okay.
So it's just, yeah, it's just like, I saw the problem with the current, fabrics on the market, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I wanted to make something a little bit, more antimicrobial, that's a little bit natural. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna
That's
be
awesome.
exciting. I'm hoping that everyone sees what I sees and loves what I love. So I'm ready to, give it to the masses, and see what everyone thinks. I'm
Girl,
excited. It's
you better
really
hit us
exciting.
with this innovation in this 21st century, 2021, just
Yes.
advancement and stuff. We are excited about it because I still work in the hospital, so I'm gonna need some more scrubs after I wash mine like
I
120
I
times.
got you.
I'm excited. That's so
I
awesome. That's
got you.
awesome. That's awesome to do things. I mean, because we're constantly advancing and we're constantly excelling. And so when you can offer something different to people that they will appreciate, then yeah, we're all for that. All for it. So listen, before we wrap up, before we leave, I want to ask you, because you've told us, a lot of things about basically how you got to where you are. You talked about stepping out on faith. You talking about believing and trusting in the Lord. You talk about believing and trusting yourself, doing the work, hiring a business coach, using your own funds, maybe even using a personal or business loan. I mean, you kind of put a lot of little nuggets out here that people can grab and say, hey, I'm going to build off of that, and I'm going to go off of that, and I'm going to go ahead and work on starting my own business. You talked about manifestation, writing things down, praying over those things and seeing those things come to life. And so we got a lot of things that we can take away from this conversation. So I know you've already shared a lot. You told us a lot of stuff, but I want to ask you, is there any particular advice that you would give to the aspiring entrepreneur? How to prepare for it, what to do, how long it should take, what the process is like. There's anything that you want to tell someone who is aspiring to do this?
Definitely. Learning from my mistakes, I would definitely suggest never wing it. It's not going to work if you're trying to wing it. You need to first sit down and actually think about what it is that you really want to do. What are you passionate about? What are you good at? I suggest you find that out first.
Mm-hmm.
Write things down that you feel like you want to do. Figure out how to get your LLC. It's super simple.
Mm-hmm.
Get your LLC online, super simple. Your EIN number online. Also, hire a business coach. If you're not too familiar or not
Yeah.
exactly sure where to go, hire a business coach. Shout out to Uche.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing business coach. He would be happy to take on your services.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say and like I'm ending, but pray.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have a good relationship with God, get one. Find your relationship with God that you have that you're needing during this process. I say pray, and not only pray because just praying is not going to get you anywhere. You have to pray, you have to have faith, and the most important for it to work, do the work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do the work because if you're just hoping that God is going to do it for you, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know it's not everybody's financial situation, but if you're working in corporate America, don't just work that job to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Work that if the job is paying enough money for you, work it and be able to save enough money. If you don't have good credit, if you don't want to, if you have good credit and if you don't want to affect your credit by taking out a business loan, save your money and save enough money to be able to leave your job, leave your because I mean it's almost like, and I know entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, but it's almost like working um if you want to work for corporate America for your entire, of course that works for a lot of people, but
Mm-hmm.
if that's not for you, and if you want to find other avenues of income, if you want to make your own avenue of income, save your money and save enough money that you need to have towards your business and invest in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
invest in
Awesome.
your business, believe in yourself, and along that journey of opening your business, you are going to run into a lot of speed bumps. It's like no doubt everything is not going to be easy peasy,
Yes.
it's not going to be a cakewalk,
Mm-mm.
but just know that when you run into that speed bump, just stay diligent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Don't be, afraid. Don't get uninspired. Just continue to work hard. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to have faith in
Mm-hmm.
God and yourself and do the work.
Yes.
And it will eventually come to fruition. I promise. And then another thing that someone told me is so funny. They said, Kwanzaa, if you build it, it will come. I had heard that phrase, it comes
Uh-huh.
from a movie, I believe.
Uh-huh.
I've had heard it several times. And so I actually stopped and thought about what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
If you build it, they will come.
Yes.
If you build your business and offer your product to the masses, somebody is going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you are advertising it and
Yes.
marketing it correctly and in a professional way, you will draw the attention of so many people and
Mm-hmm.
your business will be successful. You just have to have that faith to be able to build it and to produce it and offer it to the masses, and they will come.
Yeah.
They will
Yes.
definitely come. So just have faith, stay steadfast,
Yes.
and it's gonna come. Just trust the process for
Awesome.
sure.
Awesome. Well, look, I am super excited for you. I know people cannot wait to see exactly what they're going to be getting to lay hands on this product cuz I know I am. I want some. I want some girls. I'm ready for this and I'm super excited for everything else that you're doing. and everything else that's happening in your life. I do pray that God continues to bless you and that you continue to just journey along and do the things that you're called to do and that you're set out to do. Super, super glad that you were here today. I'm so ecstatic that you were able to sit down with me today. We've been trying to get this in the works and we finally got it. We got here and we've done it. And I hope that
Yes.
people are inspired and they're encouraged and motivated. They're encouraged and motivated by what you shared today. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for sitting down with me, taking out time to do this because you did not have to. And so I truly, truly appreciate you being here today. Listen, if you want to, will you tell us like what kind of how people will be able to reach you or reach out to you? Do you have any contact information or anything now, or would you want to share that later? Or like just any way of, are you going to have a website? Just kind of tell us about that too before we leave.
Yes, my website, it is up, but it's not, none of my products are on the site yet.
Okay.
It's www.skynrn.com.
Okay.
Uh, don't go to it yet. It's just pretty much a blank slate right now. I also will be on, I'm also actually, yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Those are pretty much tabula rosas right now, blank slates right
Okay.
now as well. So once I get um, all of my products in, once I get my media day completed, I will have all of the, the ads and the information out there. So you all will know and see when everything is available. But I'm
Awesome.
excited. And thank you so very much for having me. It's been my pleasure to be here. And I'm so honored and thankful that
Oh,
you've invited me on your show. I really appreciate it. Thank you so
of
much.
course. Of course. Awesome. Okay, look, well, we will stay tuned to what is coming. Make sure we promote it and make sure we are looking out for it because I'm super excited about it. I know some big things are on the way, and so we want to be a part of big things. I don't know about anybody else, but I do. So I'm super super
Awesome.
excited. All right, well look, that is a wrap for today's episode. I hope that it encourages and blesses someone and helps someone on their entrepreneurial journey. Listen, y'all, thank you so, so much for hanging out with Kwanzaa and I today. Super, super excited we were able to do this. Make sure you connect with me on Facebook and Instagram at Brittany Dodson Music. And also you can connect with the Traditional Millennial on Instagram at Traditional Millennial Podcast. I am also on Twitter at IMBD Music. You know, I would love to hear from you. Again, thanks for hanging out with us today on the Traditional Millennial, where conventional meets contemporary and faith fills the gaps.